Jean Pellegrin is on fire now for the business update. He's beginning in Washington. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, speaking to the media about their drive to cut costs and waste in the US federal government.
That's right, Stuart. The event lasted about 30 minutes and took place in the Oval Office, and was one of the lengthiest public discussions of the work done by Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, which is headed by Musk. Musk, wearing a black MAGA cap, appeared with his son X sitting on his shoulders and proceeded to forcefully defend his efforts to slash federal spending, calling federal workers an, quote, unelected, fourth unconstitutional branch of government. It's unclear what he means by unconstitutional here, as the Constitution allows for the creation of a federal workforce through various articles, but he emphasized the importance of slashing government expenditure in a bid to reduce the government deficit as well as its debt load.
So how has Musk then, Charles, gone about reducing spending so far?
Well, since Trump took office, Doge staffers have been embedded at various federal agencies, reviewing payments and looking for what they judge to be excessive spending. It's also given government workers the choice to either return to the office, i.e. stop working remotely, or resign and get paid for the next 8 months. So far, 65,000 workers have chosen to resign. During the event, Trump signed an executive order that gives Doge more authority to reduce the federal workforce, which is of about 3 million people. It requires agencies to hire 1 employee for every 4 that leave, and for agency or sub-agency heads to work with a Doge staffer on a, quote, data-driven plan to reduce its staff and spending. Then a report should be submitted within 30 days, which would assess whether said agency should exist or be eliminated or consolidated. Asked whether this was draconian or radical, Musk said this was about looking at each expenditure and judging whether it was in the best interest of the American people.
Yeah, and the Doge program has come under heavy criticism for its lack of transparency.
Musk responded to that criticism by saying the department was providing maximum transparency. Take a listen.
We actually are trying to be as transparent as possible. In fact, we post our actions to the Doge handle on X and to the Doge website. So all of our actions are maximally transparent. In fact, I don't think there's been, I don't know of a case where an organization has been more transparent than the Doge organization.
When the facts, though, Doge's drive through 20 or so agencies to cut costs and the staff numbers, and his efforts to remove career officials who opposed its efforts have been kept actually quite secret. While there are officially only 40 staffers in the Doge team, the exact number of people is not known. According to media reports, those staffers have attempted to remain anonymous and refuse to give their IDs to the officials and agencies they were assigned to review. Doge reports to the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, but again, according to people familiar with the matter cited in the media, the new agency has operated largely unchecked, even sometimes taking the White House by surprise.
Okay, let's move on and have a look at the markets then. How are they faring?
Well, let's have a look. European bourses trading either higher or flat at the open. As you can see, the CAC 40 opening 0.25% higher this Wednesday as investors await the latest inflation data out of the United States later in the day. Expectations are a 2.9% annual increase in January, but there are concerns about the impact that tariffs might have on prices stateside.
Finally, from Sean, something completely different. We're going to head to Turkey now. A look at one of the less covered consequences of the fall of Bashar al-Assad in Syria.
The toppling of the dictator in December has sparked an outpouring of joy among the millions of Syrians who'd fled his brutal dictatorship to take refuge abroad. It's also inspired a newfound hope for the future of their country, and many thousands have packed their belongings and returned to their homeland. It's good news for Syria and its people, but for the countries that have been hosting large numbers of Syrian refugees, notably Turkey, it means a sudden drop in what had become a crucial labor force. Brian Quinn takes a closer look.
In the alleys of Gaziantep, behind these walls, a bustling industry is running at full speed. Hunched over sewing machines, dozens of workers crank out thousands of t-shirts and other items of clothing. 70% of them are Syrian, and management is becoming increasingly worried that it could soon lose its labor force.
If the Syrians leave Turkey, there will be a real labor problem. There are currently very few Turkish workers trained in textiles, particularly in our specialty.
Turkey is the world's 6th largest textile producing country in the world. The industry is concentrated in the southeast, which authorities say has taken in some 2.9 million refugees from Syria since the start of its civil war in 2011. Gaziantep is home to roughly 500,000 Syrians. It sits just 60 kilometers from the border, a 2-hour drive from Aleppo. Since the fall of Bashar al-Assad in December, 81,000 Syrians have gone back to their homeland after years in exile. Some Turkish textile bosses are hoping their workers will be able to commute across the border. If not, they say they might even set up workshops in Syria. They could end up facing competition from some of their former employees.
I want to go back to Syria, to set up and work there. I'm going to launch a new business and work in Syria.
Experts, though, say that a sudden mass exodus of Syrian workers remains unlikely, given ongoing insecurity and economic uncertainty after 13 years of war.
Back to you, Stuart.
Thank you very much. Happy birthday, Charles.
Thank you.
He's 24 again, everyone. Charles Pellegrin with a business.